Hey guys, so today I have a story time video, and this is going to be a story time video about the time I was humiliated by a blind woman. Now, before I get started, I just want to say that I have nothing against blind people. I don't hate blind people. I don't think blind people are stupid. I don't want you guys to misconstrue anything I say, because I know next thing I know, Guru Gossiper will be saying that I am head of a committee against blind people. This story takes place in, I'm going to say, 2006. I have a picture here of me and my friend Katerina from grade 4, which was 2004 to 2005, so no, it would have taken place in 2007. It was the year before I went into high school. I went to a private preschool, elementary, and high school for my entire, pre-college career. In the school, there are 3 different uniforms. In the mini academy, as they call it, you wear a tunic. Then from grade 1 until grade 6, you wear a navy blue skirt with a dress shirt, a tie, a blazer, or a sweater. And once you graduate from the elementary school and you're going to the high school, you kind of change your uniform. So at the end of grade 6, which was when we graduate from elementary school, everyone had to go to the school store, which was called, it's like the Kardashians, I swear. My school started with a K, so it was called the K Closet. Well, the school named Closet with a K, so we were like the school of the Kardashians. At the end of the year, everyone had to go to the closet to get fitted and order their new uniforms, since we would all be getting new uniforms if we were going to the high school. We'd go in around groups of 5 to 6, and I was very, very familiar with the woman who ran the store, Miss Tina. I was always there. I had a shopping addiction, and I would always go and just buy stuff and then send the bill to my parents, school supplies and pencils, and I would just love going to that store. So Miss Tina knew me very, very well. She's the sweetest lady. So we'd go in groups of 5 to 6, and they would fit us and measure us, and we would order a new uniform. For those of you who may just be stumbling across this video or don't know my story, I was extremely overweight as a child, and for a good majority of my teenage years, when I was 15 years old, I lost over 50 pounds and I've kept it off. At that point, I was very, very overweight. I have a picture from grade 4, so this was 2 years before, and it was actually on our Valentine's Day luncheon, and I had a chicken nugget, potato, and a 7-Up, because for the Valentine's Day luncheon, my mom brought in McDonald's for everyone, which was a treat. But as you can see, I was definitely a little chunker, and let me tell you, the weight did not stop piling on in grade 4. It kept going and going. So by the time I was in grade 6, I was, maybe 5 foot, pushing 150 pounds. My mom would buy my clothes at the store for little people. They had clothes for short people, but in bigger sizes, because I wasn't fitting in clothes from limited 2, or I don't know, where do young girls shop now? I would have to estimate that I was a size, at least, I want to say 12 or 14. I don't want anyone to say, oh, I'm a 12 and 14 and blah, 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 blah. I have nothing against larger sizes. My sizes fluctuate, but at 12 years old, that was very big, and it wasn't healthy at all. I was very, very overweight. I was actually clinically obese, according to my BMI. So I don't want anyone getting offended saying that a size 14 is big, because I don't think it's big, but for a 5 foot, 12-year-old, I think that it's not healthy. So my turn came, and I went to the closet with, 5 or 6 other kids, and Miss Tina had one of my classmates' mom helping out with the fittings and everything. And I don't really know why she was helping out. She was involved in the school. My mom was really involved in the school as well, but this woman just happened to be legally blind. So it's my turn, and there's 5 or 6 other kids there. Around 12 years old is when you start puberty and your hormones start, going crazy. And I think it was around grade 6 when I started realizing that I was bigger than other people, and I started getting self-conscious. I remember in grade 6 we had a summer uniform and we had a winter uniform, and the summer uniform was a beige skirt, a polo top, and you could wear a sweater if you wanted. And it was hot as hell in the summer. It was the end of the year, so it was around June. It was humid, it was hot, there was no air conditioning in that building. I was wearing my sweater because I was so self-conscious. I remember it was the grade 6 parade or something, and it was at least 30 degrees, super humid, grossly hot, and my mom was at the parade, and I was wearing my sweater, and everyone would be like, aren't you hot, aren't you hot? And I'd be like, no. Meanwhile, I'm about to pass out from heat stroke. I was self-conscious. I had started getting self-conscious in grade 6. So it's my turn, and the woman, I don't know if she was doing this by feel or tightness or whatever, but it's my turn to get fitted for the skirt, and as you guys know, I'm large and in charge, and this woman starts off with a size, I'm not even joking, a size 2 skirt, a size 2. I was a size 12 to 14, there's no way in hell my thigh would even fit into a size 2 skirt at that time. I know that the skirt's not gonna fit, I know, so she starts off, she wraps it around my waist, And she starts going, oh, that's not gonna fit. And then she moves on to size 4. Oh, that's not gonna fit. And by this point, I am so embarrassed. I have tears in my eyes. I am just humiliated, because at that age is when you start, you know, realizing your body and like realizing certain things. And I was just humiliated in front of boys, in front of girls, that she was like trying to size me, and she kept saying, oh, that's not gonna fit, that's not gonna fit. By the 4th skirt that she tried on and said that it wouldn't fit me, I told Miss Tina, I just like had tears in my eyes, and I was like, I'm gonna come back with my mom. And it was at the end of the school day, and I was just so embarrassed and so humiliated. And I know to some people, like when I talked about how Abercrombie scarred me or whatever, some people will be like, oh, poor fat girl just crying because she didn't fit in something. But you don't understand unless you're in that situation, like how embarrassing it was. It was just so embarrassing. I was so embarrassed. I went back, I think I went to the bathroom and just like cried. At this point, when you're like that age, like you know you're bigger. When you're younger, you kind of can block that out. Like grade 6 was the time when I started realizing. I didn't order my skirt. I was like, I'm just gonna come back with my mom, because by that point, I had been in the closet for like 15 minutes. I had seen everyone else get their like skirts fitted, and I was just humiliated. And I don't know if I'm doing a good job of conveying like what went on, but basically this woman, I mean, anyone with that sounded bad, but anyone could see that I was clearly not a size 2, I was clearly not a size 4, I was clearly not a size even 10. Clearly anyone could see that I was overweight. And as a child, I feel like she should have been more sensitive. I'm not saying blind people don't deserve jobs, I'm not saying blind people don't deserve anything, but I'm just saying that when you are fitting children, I don't know if that was the best employee for the job. So it was the end of the day, and I went to my mom's car because she picked us up after school, and I just burst into tears. And my mom is a very protective mother. She is like a mama bear, and she was like, Alicia, what's wrong? Like, what happened? And I told her the story, and before I could even finish the story, her seatbelt was flinged off. The car was in park, and she raced out of the car, and she was headed towards the closet because she like is very protective. And when your daughter or your child is so embarrassed and so humiliated, obviously, like she was like out for blood. I was watching Charles Gross's video where he talked about how his mom was super protective and how like something just glazed over her eyes, and like it was like a shark in the water, like when it smells blood. Like literally that was my mom. She goes into the Cooper closet, and she wasn't like mean to the woman. And then my mom even took it to like another level, and my mom was like, that's like me taking you to Zellers to buy you a pair of jeans and starting you off in a size 2. Clearly you're not a size 2, clearly it won't fit. You shouldn't have started off with such a small size, and she shouldn't have said those things, especially in front of other people. The damage was done. I was definitely humiliated in front of my classmates, in front of Miss Tina, in front of everyone. And I guess it's going to be very hard for people to understand unless they have ever experienced something like that. But imagine like you being like an overweight 12-year-old, hormones raging, you know, just developing like being self-conscious, and someone takes you to the mall and with your friends and your classmates, and you're, you know, a size 12, and they start you off in a size 2 and make a huge deal about it. It wasn't good. So my mom ended up like, not in an argument, but she was definitely just like, what the heck, like that is not right, like you should not be saying that to, not even just because it was her child, but like to any child, you have to have a level of sensitivity. I think like the woman realized like that she was in the wrong, and she should have handled the situation better. I don't know how many kids she had fitted that day, but it was definitely handled the wrong way, and I was really, really embarrassed, and to this day I still remember it. But it's like as if you go to a shoe store, not like that shoes and like your body size is the same thing, but it's like you go to a shoe store and you clearly have size 11 feet, and they start you off, let's start you off in a 6.5. Like anyone with eyes can see if you have big feet. So that's why I just feel like maybe a blind person was the best person for the job, especially when you're handling kids. But like I said, I'm not saying she didn't deserve a job. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I'm looking at this cute little girl, and like she was so chunky, and like look, it's so cute. Anyways, yeah. So that was my story about how I was humiliated by a blind woman. I don't know if I told the story like well enough, but I think you guys get the gist of it. Let me know if you've had any experiences like this, and if you want to see more storytime videos from me. I love watching them, so I think they're fun to make, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.